Hi guys, so today I want to share another story with you. Today I want to talk about 90 Day Fiance, Robert and Annie, Anna and Mursel's dramatic issues escalating, plus a quick recap review of last night's episode. Okay guys, let's just go ahead and get into last night's episode. Wait, but before we do that, I have to admit something to you guys. I am totally a victim of Stockholm Syndrome. Do you guys know what that is? That's when you fall in love with your captor or fall in love with someone that's really doing bad things to you. You know, like when the burglar hits you over the head and pistol whips you and tell you to give him all his money and you're thinking in between the whips like he's totally hot. That's what I have. It doesn't make sense at all. It's a true condition, people. True condition. So just in case you're wondering, who's my captor that I fell in love with? Thanks for asking. I was starting to think people didn't care. I'm starting to fall in love with Robert, okay? I know, the chubby little cheapskate. I don't know what it is. I'm really starting to like him. And even worse, I'm pulling for him and Annie. I know. They say that when you get Stockholm Syndrome, you can't explain it. I really cannot explain it. So at the beginning of the episode, Robert's siblings actually called Annie a gold digger. Basically, they were like, how do we know that you're not here to, steal all his money? And she was like, he's broke. Like, what is wrong with them? They think, how do you use a broke person? Okay, but, and I felt sorry for her having to explain herself. And Robert took their side, hey, they're just asking a question. What kind of question is that? Are you a gold digger? So then the next day he apologized and he took her to the store and brought her a pair of shoes. Shopping always helps. And this time it wasn't the Goodwill. They moved up. They probably were at TJ Maxx this time, but it's still a bargain store, but at least, it's not used clothes, right? I mean, you got to be happy about something. He's stepping up. But that must have been when I started to fall in love with him, okay? Because he apologized. He seemed sincere. Maybe something to do with Stockholm Syndrome means that you're an idiot. Maybe that's what it means. Maybe I'm just an idiot and, I couldn't help myself but to develop Stockholm Syndrome. But I started really feeling compassion for him because he seemed like he really liked Annie. He really apologized. He was like, we're a team and saying things like that. And I was like, oh, that's really sweet. And then later on in the episode, when he was taking up for Annie because Bang Bang Stephanie, that's what I call the grandmother, because, she's in that industry that I can't name. I call it Bang Bang, Bang 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 Bang. She's in the Bang Bang industry. Bang Bang Stephanie offered to give Annie $15,000 to go back to the Dominican, okay? Because she said, you're just using them anyway. I mean, how do you use a broke person? And who are you, the queen of the Bang Bang industry? You're in the Bang Bang industry, and you're judging someone else. Like, really? Like, come on, Stephanie, really? It was insane. Robert told them to get the hell out of there and to leave Annie alone. And that might have been my final straw. That's when it was official. I'm pulling for these two. I really like them. Now let's move on to the next couple. Now let's talk about Anna and Mursel. Listen, I don't know how to describe Mursel. I really don't. Let me explain it this way. He's the kind of person you do not want to escape prison with, okay? Because you could be up all night digging a hole, finally make it out, you turn around, you look up, he's climbing the barbed wire to break back into the prison, okay? Like, who breaks back into the prison? Mursel. He reminds me of that kind of person. So in this episode, he was in Turkey. Remember, he went to Turkey. They had broken up, but he claimed that his family now accepted Anna. They weren't happy about it, but they said it was okay to marry her, so he wanted to come back to the U.S. But the only problem is he got his visa canceled because you can't leave the country, but lucky for us, he got his visa reinstated, okay? And so now he's coming back, and they should live happily ever after. The only thing is, Anna's older son, I believe his name is Joe, hates his guts, okay? That's a problem, people. It's a huge problem. So now they can't just go and play with their bees and live happily ever after, because now they've got that teenager to deal with. And when your life gets complicated, Mursel, because of that nagging teenager, only blame yourself, because you were out. You had broke out of the Anna prison, but you broke back into the Anna prison, and now you got to deal with it. Let's move on to the next couple. Next, there's Sinjin and Tanya. Let's just be honest, people. Tanya's weird, okay? I just said it. I just threw it out there. Because in this episode, she was out wedding dress shopping, okay, to marry the guy who's not her soulmate, the guy that she thinks is, he's okay. She was planning that wedding. She wanted to buy a black wedding dress, or, the kind that you would wear to a funeral or to divorce court, something like that. I hope Sinjin doesn't have any life insurance going on, because this is not making any sense, And so she tells her friends that Sinjin is not her soulmate, but she's going to marry him anyway. And they were looking at her like she was out of her mind. Let me see if I can do it. It just doesn't make sense. When she said she went to the jungle to learn about herbs, do you think she was smoking them? Because nothing she's doing is making sense. In the meantime, while she's shopping for black wedding dresses, poor little Sinjin, I'm starting to feel so sorry for him, was having lunch with a friend that he knew back from South Africa. And when he told the friend that she told him that he was not her soulmate, he looked at him like, be afraid. Be very afraid. Like, none of this makes sense whatsoever. I'm thinking people, I was going to say I think that they should break up, but I know in real time that they don't, okay? How do you explain that? I don't know. I'm just here to explain this episode. So let's move on to the next couple. Next, there's Sascha and Emily. In this episode, they actually get married. But before they get married, her sister decides to ask Sascha to promise her that he would never cheat on Emily, okay? And first of all, he was staring at her like, you could see this look of disgust on his face, because let's be real, the sister's a little chubby, and he doesn't like that. Remember how he just rode the hell out of Emily to lose the weight? He takes care of his body. She's asking a guy, okay, who, if she puts on 5 pounds, is he gonna stay with her? Also, I believe it was his second wife that he cheated on. She's asking a cheater if he's going to stay faithful. Well, he said yes, and I guess she believed him, because the two got married. Don't ask me to explain this stuff. I'm only responsible for explaining what happened in the episode. Let's move on to the next couple. Next, we have Michael and Juliana. In this episode, they let the creeper officiate the wedding, okay? She married him. Who's the creeper? That would be Michael's ex, Sarah, okay? Let's just call it like it is. Something's wrong with Sarah, okay? She's being overly friendly, okay? Like, she wants to be hanging around Juliana all the time, saying overly nice things about her when she was marrying the two. Like, I'm really, 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 really appreciate you. It was just a little too much, people. And we know in real time, she's always hanging around and partying with Juliana. And then, I believe it was a couple weeks ago, she's doing some remodeling at her house. And guess who she's staying with? She's bringing her husband over to stay with Juliana and Michael, as if there's no such thing as a hotel. Now, I'm telling you people, this is unusual behavior. Something's really, really wrong, and I can't put my finger on what it is. This woman is strange, or either she's vindictive. Something's going on, but I don't know what it is. I really don't. Now, there's nothing wrong with a woman liking her ex's new wife, but maybe she likes the new wife. Do you see what I mean, you guys? Something's not right there. I just can't put my finger on it. Let's move on. Next, there's Jasmine and Blake. Okay, so in this episode, Blake finally distributed that he has 3/4 of a brain, okay? Not a full one, but a little piece of brain. Because, up until then, I thought this guy was really, really the, world's biggest idiot. I mean, no offense, I like him and everything, but, he's not playing with the full deck. He's not the dumbest person in the world, but, the runner-up. And in this episode, he was getting upset because of Jasmine not hanging out with his friends and just trying to make it a friendly environment. She said she only wanted to hang with her sister all the time and not his friends because, she doesn't like them. She doesn't feel comfortable with them. She doesn't drink, and whatever else excuse she could put in there. But she did leave out one excuse is, I don't really like you either. That, she forgot to leave that one in there. But he just, for a slight second, he was like, I don't know how this is going to work. But of course, he managed to figure it out. So the couple both end up introducing each other's parents to each other. And the minute that Blake's mom heard Jasmine say that she didn't want to work, she planned on not working when they get married, she wanted him to take care of everything immediately. Blake's mother, that was warning signs for her. And I'm wondering, it was making me wonder, do you think common sense is a condition that skips every other generation? Because this woman picked up on something's wrong with that relationship immediately. But Blake, well, he still doesn't have a clue. Okay, guys, so that's my quick review of 90 Day Fiance. What I want to know today in my comment section is anybody pulling for Robert and Annie and Anna and Mursel? Like, I'm really pulling for those couples. Also, if you like this video, don't forget to click that like button. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and do that. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.